We begin the morning bulletin today not with updates related to the coronavirus, but with an issue of the minds of a few Indians being infected by another virus of sorts that I do not know how to name and certainly do not know how to fathom. It's so strange that despite being a part of independent India for more than 70 years, people from the so-called Indian mainland still know so little about the northeastern region and its people. Worse, there is very little or no effort on their part to get to know us better, understand us better. I say this because of a rather absurd incident that took netizens of the region by a surprise and forced us to ask this question once again: do we really belong to this country? A woman, Durga Rai from Maharashtra, ranted on and on, passing judgments, wide timeline posts and comment brawls on Facebook about food habits of people residing in this part of the country. In one comment I want to shed light on, Durga Rai was found saying, and I quote, "Northeast के ज़्यादातर लोग जो Chinese हैवानों की तरह कुत्ता, बिल्ली, खरगोश, मेढक, बंदर न जाने क्या क्या खाते हैं, पहले civilized तो हो जाए. Need I say more?" So if all the abusing, the spitting, the lynching and the feature shaming weren't enough already, Northeasterners are now once again being humiliated and abused based on our food habits, which they have no idea about. We've been called dog eaters, Chinese, Momo, insect eaters, even being called the coronavirus and whatnot. Remarks that are perpetually passed to deliberately hurt the sentiments of a region so rich in its varied heritage and culture. We are so quick to sulk about Indians being discriminated outside the country, but are we better? Are we any better when so many Indians still think that Northeast is nothing but a jungle and that people here eat anything and everything? It was NSUI Vice President Zubair Anam who had informed any news of complaints having been filed against the woman who had made these posts and comments in various police stations across Guwahati. Further, the student leader had this to say. We'll listen in.
We, the Northeasterns, have long been victims of racism in our own country. The recent comments by Shilpa Parmar and Durga Rai regarding the people of Northeast, comparing us with the Chinese, it's sad and highly condemnable. It's even sadder to know that things like this is still happening in 2020. NSUI will strictly stand against racism, and to set an example out of everyone having a racist mindset, we have filed FIRs against them in various police stations in Assam. This has to be understood that Northeasterns will not be mere victims anymore. We will legally fight back, and it starts now. I hope the Home Department will take necessary action so that things like this will never happen in the future. We, the Northeasterns, have long been...
Go on and on, but let's get into the legal aspect of this to get us more insights on the unfortunate incident and its legal consequences on the offenders. We have with us over the telephone Advocate Vikram Singh Kushwaha of the Delhi-based firm BSK Legal, which actively works towards integration of the northeastern Indian communities by providing them access to justice. He has worked closely on constitutional and civil matters for any vulnerable communities from the region. Right, Mr. Vikram Kushwaha, I'm so glad that I have a lawyer with me right now to discuss this. But before getting into the legal aspect, I want to ask you, when we as a nation take it as an insult when even one of us is discriminated against on the basis of our skin color or on other grounds, then why don't we raise our voices when something brutal and hurtful is said about our fellow Northeasterners?
Good morning, Farhad. It's a pleasure to be on your show. Before I start with the answer to your question, I'll just give a brief background. I myself am not somebody who comes from the northeast regions of India. I was born in Udhampur in Kashmir, and I'm a domicile of Delhi and UP.
Right.
But I've worked closely with people from the northeast. I have been through the northeast very frequently, in fact, with my partner from the law firm, Kaushik Barua, who's from Guwahati itself. And I've worked closely with people from the northeast, and I empathize completely with your sentiments there. It's a very, very unfortunate incident where one person from a community who doesn't probably have access to information information about how people from another community or another indigenous area live, feel, what their culture is, has just gone out and remarked, made an umbrella statement full of hate,
Right.
full of imputations that do nothing but to promote disharmony amongst communities. As somebody who empathizes with this, I think the problem here is that the same thing that hurts the national sentiments when somebody from another community says it is given a free pass when we practice it in our own personal life, and we don't acknowledge it often enough. If somebody from another country calls somebody out from our country for the color of their skin, maybe, or their language, or something to do with their particular cultures, we all be up in arms as a nation against them as somebody from the outsider hurting our national sentiments.
Absolutely.
But when people from our own country are biased and they discriminate against people from our own country on the basis of the same aspects, maybe the color of their skin, language, culture, it's given a free pass. It's almost as if those biases are no longer, these people are no longer accountable for their biases.
But why, Vikram, why this free pass? Sorry to interrupt there. Why this free pass when I'm sure there are legal remedies in place? Statistics tell us that incidents like these are not properly addressed because police officers on the ground are not aware of what sections under the Indian Penal Code can be used to file a complaint against things like this. Why is it so complicated? Are there no definite laws written on this?
But I don't agree that the police officers on ground are not informed about what sections to use for what offences. Hate speech is a broad enough offence for every police officer in this country to know the required sections from the Indian Penal Code. I can list them out right now.
But that is something very common that happens, and this is data that I have received. However, you can go on. Yes.
Right. So I'll tell you what I think the problem here is. Now, there are multiple aspects to it. I will not just blame the police. We have a nationalist sentiment going on in this country at the moment, as you will also agree. But the problem here becomes that nationalism has come to be defined as narrowly where espousing hate is referred to standing up against hate. And I will not name the particular parties, but the media also at certain times has a lot to do with this. And a certain gentleman who's from Assam and also one of the leading journalists of India at the moment, when he stands up against something that espouse hate, you see him every day on TV. But for something like this, where he needs to come up, stand against hate, it's not available. So I think as a people, it's become very easy for us to just espouse hate while not stand up against it, because the latter requires empathy, which we are not working towards as a nation.
Right.
And for policemen, when it comes to them being informed or them being aware of the particular section, it's a very common fact in India that for an ordinary citizen, access to justice has always been difficult. If you and I go to a police, I am an advocate, so I don't really, it's not a fair comparison, but
Right,
for an ordinary citizen to go to a police station and have a complaint or an FIR lodged is a hell of a task. He has to fight against inertia of the system, he has to fight against the particular officials in that space. I'm not making a blanket
And
statement.
people without any references also do not get a lot of importance. That's another problem, of course.
Right, and when it in the agenda, it becomes easy for the same people to register the same complaint even though a complaint hasn't come. Because I remember an incident from the Andaman and Nicobar on the 29th of April this year itself, where an FIR was registered against a journalist for tweeting something which was a query to the administration. He had 3 cognizable sections registered against him, and he was arrested and put in jail for interrogation. Where there was no complainant, nobody had come up against him. It was from the dispensation itself that the complaint was lodged and the person was arrested. So the machinery is very much workable if there is intent to work it.
So despite there being laws in place, like you mentioned, these are perpetual incidents. They keep happening. Sometimes we are being spat on. Sometimes we are lynched. At times our food habits, our features are being sarcastically commented against. So how, as a lawyer, how do you see this issue getting resolved? Because that is what needs to be addressed at the moment. Why? Who do you think needs to step up to make the difference here? Is it the judiciary, or is it the state governments of the region, or is it the central government?
Farhad, I think all of these parties that are concerned need to step up their game in order for us to have any chance of coming out as a more cohesive society and also nation. The judiciary is one of the branches of the state which is most respected at the moment. I feel
Of course.
people have high hopes from it. It stands up to its ideals, and people feel that there is this concept of justice which they have access to sooner or later, because the judiciary is one of the most incorruptible forces in this state. If the judiciary can come out with a statement, or if the judiciary can come out with daily reminders, or not even daily, but frequent reminders to people that yes, that justice exists and that ideal exists, and there is a body out there which is fair and unbiased and which will bring to task people who espouse faith, I think that will go a long way. State governments, in the same manner, if they can come up, elevate themselves from their petty politics.
Right, so perhaps a
address the issue.
concerted effort from all those in power is what is the need of the hour at the moment.
All those in power. The central government can maybe revise the curriculums of this country to be more cohesive and more understanding of all the cultures that do make this country. Because we are not just a country of the northern belt or the southern belt or
Right.
the eastern or the western belt. We have a varied culture and history in this country, a lot of which is not even covered in our curriculum. So people don't have access to information which will help them get closer to people from different parts of this country, which are culturally maybe a little apart from them, but information is what is required here for us. If we
Awareness
have
and information,
and empathy.
apart from the government stepping in, says Advocate Vikram Singh Kushwaha. Thanks so much for joining Any News this morning. A pleasure talking to you. So despite this being a punishable offence, viewers, it is highly doubtful whether people passing such comments will be convicted or not. That is the state of affairs at the moment. It is sad and humiliating that the world is 2 decades into the 21st century and people still have not become civilized enough to respect other cultures.